not heavy. But in this first day, it's not as heavy, but this is what we call the follicular stage. This is the follicular stage or phase. All right, she should menstruate for about 5 to 6 days. And the follicular phase lasts for about 20 days. Maybe 19, 20 days. We'll stop it right here. So you're still in the follicular phase. So day 1, all the way to day 5, 6, or 7, that's how long a menstrual cycle should last. Hopefully it does not last longer than 7 days, or we will actually have a problem. All right, so and I'm gonna talk about that in just a few. But after you get into the follicular stage, I think as this 35-year-old gets older, she needs to know when is her fertile days, when is her ovulation days, okay? So she goes through the cycle, and around day 14, day 13, she starts to introduce what they call luteinizing hormone, and luteinizing hormone stimulates these the corpus luteum. It creates what they call a progesterone surge. So on day 14, and it can happen day 13, every woman is unique. They're biochemically unique. Everybody has their different rhythm. It doesn't have to be on the 14th day. But this is what I would call ovulation. This ovulation stage right here. So this is what I would call ovulation. Spelling that wrong, but that's the phase. And we are introduced to luteinizing hormone at that time, and we will call that to be up here around the 15th day. Progesterone is being created all the way up until your next period. So we will call this the luteal phase. All right. So I know that sounds a little redundant for most women, but if you understand this wheel, you would not have to use an app to know when your ovulation days are. You would know when your fertile days are, because after your actual menstruation, 5 to 7 days after that will be your most fertile days. So in this area right here, if she decides to have sex, then you have the sperm that lives 24 to 48 hours can then find the egg in this area, or in this area, wherever the egg is, and they can connect and they create and make a zygote. All right. So the fibria are right here, and the fallopian tubes are here, and they can travel down that way, and this is how she becomes pregnant. Now, if she has PCOS, the FSH is stimulating, but it's overstimulating, and it can create a cyst. Or the corpus luteum does not release that egg, and she will not be ovulating that month. All right, because with PCOS, she can have irregular cycles. She will end up having hirsutism, which is hair growing on the chest, hair growing under the chin. She can have acne that'll develop, and it's all because of these androgens up here. These androgens are like a male sex hormone. So it starts to make her grow hair in places where she doesn't, and also on top of her hair where she wants the hair to grow, it starts to thin. So this is what she's going through, because she's also creating estrone. We talked about aromatase last week. We talked about detoxing estrogens and all these different things. But she can also create DHT, all right, which can thin her hair and also be very damaging, because these theca cells, I'm gonna spell this out so you know, theca and granulosa cells, they both create estrogen and progesterone, right? But the theca cells are more sensitive to insulin. So this is her problem. Insulin is the problem. And we always look at PCOS as diabetes of the ovaries. So you can call that diabetes of the ovaries. So if she wanted to create a fertility plan, what would she do? First thing she has to do, I would love to interact with you guys to see what would be the first thing you would do if she has PCOS and she wants to make a baby. Being that, you know, we just talked about this physiology, we talked about the pathology, she needs to get rid of the insulin resistance. So